Hello, 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 beautiful people. How are you today? Today is another episode of Relax and Raunchy Relationship podcast with me, Ingrid Galloway, and accompanied with my special guest, Ellen Lucas. She is a consultant of Well Power Solutions Bridal. After struggling for almost a decade with a sudden onset of immune system disorder, Ellen was introduced to a path of living a healthy and balanced life. Oh, that is so good. Through a health program fully backed by science that anyone can follow, she now passionately helps people readjust their thinking around nutrition and how to give your body what it needs to be optimally healthy. Welcome, Ellen.
Thank you, Ingrid. And can I say, just introducing Ingrid back to her trusted followers. Ingrid Galloway is the founder, relationship coach, and chief relaxation officer of KAHYANGAN, which means heaven. She's been a relationship coach for 12 years and spa therapist for 22 years. That's a long time to be in a spa. She practices from KAHYANGAN in Sydney and from clients' homes, offices and hotel rooms, online and from retreat locations. Hey, great to have a chat with you today, Ingrid.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming to my podcast. Let's get on to it. What is your why? Why do you do what you do?
Yeah, no, let me just adjust my screen. Yeah, I basically do what I do because I know exactly what it likes to feel out of control.
Mm,
I struggled with that health challenge that I had for almost 10 years
yeah. If you
through
don't mind disclosing what's the name of the immune disorder?
yeah. So it was chronic urticaria and angioedema.
Ooh,
So basically I would get urticaria, which is itchy spots all over my body,
yeah.
and angioedema, where I would swell up randomly. My lips would swell, my hands would swell, my feet. I'd swell
You don't
shut.
need lip fillers when you
No,
experience
no, I
that.
didn't. No. So think people pay for this, and I'm getting it for free. I should feel lucky, but I don't. So yeah, I felt completely out of control during that time. I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
It was idiopathic, so there was no cause, no cure. So I could only barely sort of figure out what was triggering it.
Yeah.
But honestly, it doesn't really matter if it's weight or any sort of health issue, health challenge that you've got. Um, if you feel like you're out of control, it's one of those downward spirals that most people know what it feels like.
Yes.
And when you're in it, it's very hard to see out of it unless you've got some really, really strong people around you.
Mm.
So what I love to do is help people take control back and understand how they can get their baseline nutrition right. Because if you're feeding your body what it needs to be fed,
Mm.
it's going to do what it needs to do. And not that we claim that we can cure all disease and all that sort of thing. That would be silly for me to claim that.
Yeah.
But if you're giving your body what it needs to function, it's going to do what it needs to do, and anything else that's still happening
Yeah.
is worthwhile going to see the doctor for.
Right.
So you
So
need some sort of
make
other
food
intervention.
your medicine.
Yeah, make food your medicine, make your lifestyle how you go to the gym can be your basic lifestyle without actually going to a gym. So being active, making conscious choices on what you can actually do and help those people that are around you to be healthier as well, and have it so that it is completely achievable to live a healthy lifestyle. So it is very possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that experiencing a lot of disorders and diseases. So I feel for them because not only affect their body, but also their mental, emotional well-being. They
Yes.
become someone different to who I used to know.
Yeah, exactly. And you become a completely different person. I'd say that the people that knew me before I got sick would
Mm,
not recognize me now. I've been through such a transformation
mm.
that people would not recognize me if they were talking to me now than if they knew me 10, 12 years ago. So, yeah,
Wonderful.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So why do you do what you do, Ingrid?
Well, I came from Indonesia and I moved here by the age of 21 to get married to my first husband.
Hmm.
I got married partly because I want to escape my mother. Not the best reason to get married. In hindsight, yes. I was in love with my ex, but part of the reason was not very good.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, came to a new country, didn't know anyone apart from him. Unfortunately, that relationship, 10-year marriage, didn't work out. So it was an abusive relationship. So I left after 3 attempts and I gained, all this lovely fancy stuff called anxiety, depression, lost my properties, lost everything material except for myself, but I gained myself. So I rediscover who Ingrid really was. Yeah.
Hmm.
And because I wasn't allowed by my mother and my ex-husband to be myself, so that was like actually the best thing. And then during my self-healing journey, I went back to college to study counseling and life coaching, went to several self-development seminar, and also went to see a couple of therapists. Um, then straight away I knew that I would be a coach and my niche would be in relationship because I am passionate and compassionate to help others in similar sort of predicament. So yeah, that's my why.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, sometimes you have to make those massive steps backwards to be able to start from a better foundation and move forward on a stronger foundation. So, yeah, it sounds like you've been through that journey and your foundations are fairly solid by the sounds of it.
Yes, yes. And do you have any 3 tips to share with our community about nutrition and health?
Yeah, well, the number one tip I always try and help people to understand is that you can't get the nutrients that your body needs from food alone,
Mm-hmm.
even if you eat well.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way that if you look into how food is manufactured these days, how food is grown, a lot of the soils are depleted. And I know I've had some people that it is actually a surprise to them that the food that you eat gets its nutrition from the soil. If the soil doesn't have nutrition, the food can't possibly have it in it. So some people still don't understand that link because they've never had to think about it before.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just getting the nutrition from food alone, very, very difficult to actually do it without adding in some sort of supplementation as well. Most people will need to supplement at some point in their lives.
Right.
Yeah. Second tip, I guess, would be that, look, we've all heard it before, but it's the daily decisions that you make that can lead to your long-term health benefits or benefits of anything, really. It's not really about committing to like a long-term gym program.
Mm-hmm.
It's not simply eliminating carbs, picking and choosing things like that. It's not even doing like committing to doing a 10K run every day or even working up to it. It's the little things like taking the stairs,
Mm.
walking up the escalator, doing basic things like that, reading a label and understanding how to decipher all that gobbledygook sometimes of what your body actually needs and how that food is going to nourish your body,
Yeah.
and picking something that's better for everybody concerned that you're feeding. Like most women especially are feeding an entire household. And if
That's
they're not making smarter choices, then the whole household is not making a smarter choice.
right.
Um, and it's also just basically when you're out and about. Everyone wants to go out and have a nice meal out every now and then.
That's right.
Um, but it can be what you choose on a menu as well. So just because you're going out for a special meal doesn't mean all the rules have to fly out the window. You can keep some rules and throw some out the window if you really want, but maybe choosing the meat and veg option instead of a pasta option or something like that can just make your daily choices that you're making smarter, so that longer term you're going to get a better result. And I guess the third tip is overwraps all of that is your mindset. So the mindset that you've got can contribute just as much to your overall health as the food that goes in your mouth. Your mindset probably determines what food you put in your mouth.
Yeah.
So changing that mindset and changing how you actually see food, what your relationship, to tie it in together with you, what your relationship with food is, can make a huge difference to what choices you're making on a daily basis.
Love it. I love the daily decisions, because daily decisions not only of what you eat, how active you are, but also thinking, the mindset. Yes.
Mm,
Do you choose to think negatively or think positively? Because you have choices, you have options, even though you feel that, oh my God, I am feeling very, very depressed today, but actually you can take yourself out of that state, if you
mm.
choose carefully, that is.
Yeah, yeah. If you're smart about what you're doing and understand where you're at,
Yeah.
understand your own headspace at any given time, and
Mm.
then you can choose to make choices that may seem completely irrelevant to that headspace, but
Mm.
it will all gradually pull you out of it and shake things up so that you actually come out of it and feel better in the longer term.
Love it. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for sharing your wisdom.
No worries. So how about you, Ingrid? What about three tips on relationships?
Yeah, I give various tips in different podcasts. Today, I would like to focus on rebuilding your relationship after infidelity. Ooh,
Mhm,
juicy.
mhm.
Three tips. Number one, I will say love is nothing without action. Um, in the case of infidelity in a committed relationship, well, unfortunately, it is one of the top three factors of breakups, infidelity, which is fair enough.
Mhm.
If you
Fair
are,
enough.
if you are the victim, being cheated must be like hurt like hell, right?
Mhm,
But it doesn't mean that if you are the one who cheated, you are not hurting as well. If you
mhm.
are not a complete narcissist, I mean, some people are, you, you will feel some form of shame and guilt, right?
Mhm,
But I need you to differentiate the energy between I am bad versus I did something bad. So the first one is shame based, and the later one is guilt based. So in
okay.
most cases, people slip up, like, for example, if you hit someone else's car after driving well for 10 years, does it mean that you are a bad driver? You did something bad, but you are not a bad person.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the
Awesome.
action, point number one is about action. The action to show your love is to support your partner in their healing. Give them space and not to repeat your bad action, obviously. Do not repeat, please, because
Yes.
cheating is not an act of love. Um, and if you are the one who was being cheated on, this will be a huge test of what's called unconditional love. Your action is to love them unconditionally. If you really believe that they did something bad, but not a bad person. Okay. So that's point number one. And point number two, I will say trust is nothing without proof. Are you, after breaking your partner's trust, be completely transparent with them. If they need your bank statement to prove that you are not spending money on your fling date, for example, show it to them. It takes time to build trust. So prove it to them that you are worthy of being trusted again.
Yeah.
Number three, sorry is nothing without change. You've been saying about, making the daily decisions, changing from this to that, making better decisions. Uh, for us, 1,000 sorry is nothing if you keep disrespecting your beloved. Your beloved is not a doormat. Newsflash.
Mhm.
Sometimes a couple has to hit rock bottom there to get the aha moment. They open their eyes.
Yeah.
That how they operate in the past in their relationship has to change. Otherwise, there will be no relationship, right?
Mhm.
So I'm going to be the devil's advocate right now, in saying that in certain cases, infidelity can be the catalyst of change. For you, it's your, inflammation, your lip. You don't, you didn't need to have that lip filler anymore because you just swell up uncontrollably. That's in your case, but in this case, infidelity can be the catalyst of change. And make sure that you engage with a relationship coach. Ask for support, navigate your healing journey together. Because sometimes, the topic is just too hot, you can't think straight, and you're fully emotional. You need a referee, a
Mm.
mediator, to be someone with, neutral eyes that can guide you together in your healing journey. So those
Yeah.
are my 3 tips.
Yeah, that's fabulous. Because yeah, when you're in the middle of something,
Yeah.
it's very hard to maybe see that your point of view is different to the other person's point of view and why it's different. Maybe a third party can actually give that extra bit of insight that a trusted third party can actually provide. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Now, people, we come to the fun part of the podcast. Oh, we've been talking about infidelity. It's so serious. Let's have fun. True and false statement. Number one, Ellen said that she can eat an entire pizza by herself. Number two, Ellen has hiked to the top of Mount Sinai. So which one is correct? I reckon because she focused on nutrition, maybe number one is true. Is that correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. Look, I can put food away like the best of them. Yeah, I love my food.
Okay.
I love my pizza. I can literally just stand there eating slices of pizza, and well, before I know it, I've had an entire pizza all by myself.
Yeah.
Ironically, though, when I make pizza at home,
Yes.
I can only eat half a pizza.
Interesting. Why
So,
is that?
yeah, with my own special little base that's got
Yeah.
extra fiber and things in it. It's a thin base,
Yeah.
but it's got extra fiber and stuff like that in it. I can only eat half a pizza because I'm full.
There you go. There's secret to the madness.
Okay, so your funny little stories we've got here are, where did I have them? Okay, so Ingrid's true or false is Ingrid's baby caught a pizza with a big bib, or her husband caught a pizza with a big bib.
Hmm.
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 Now I think the more amazing feat would be number one, would be true.
Right. You are correct.
Yay!
Yay! Good one. The story was we went to my one of my friends' funeral or cremation ceremony. And then afterwards, the guests, got entertained with food and afternoon tea, including eating pizza. So my little one, my second one, that was the first time ever that she ate pizza, because she's still, a baby, not like super newborn, but she can eat solid, no problem. And then once we get into the car, got packing, put things away in the car. And then my eldest said, Mommy, look at Bibi. And I looked and oh my God, pizza all over her bib. And she was wearing a big bib on that day. And it was gluggy pizza vomit.
Oh, oh, yuck.
On the bib, it's safe. It was like beyond belief that the baby chair was free of any rubbish because it's not
Oh, you must have had foresight that day.
oh my God. Let's not eat pizza for a week after that incident.
Oh, a week? Is that all?
Yeah. Well, when you have kids, all sorts of shenanigans happen. So there you go. Yeah. She caught the big pizza on her big bib.
Yay.
Now we come to the last question of the day. What do you do to either relax or add raunchiness to your relationship?
Okay, I guess for me, I guess it's probably the same as a lot of other people. To relax, I like to go for a walk. I do yoga. I meditate. Watch favorite TV shows, read, all those sort of things to relax for myself.
Nice.
Because if I'm not relaxed, I can't be relaxed with my partner. So but what I do actually find is that if, like, quite often my husband will come home from work and he's had a bad day, those sort of things, and I find that between the two of us, if we just make that decision to accept the events of the day, don't fight against them, don't go over them over and over them in your head. Sometimes we'll need to have a bit of a blah to each other to sort of get it out.
Yes.
Um,
Important to get a blah, yes.
yeah. So it basically just helps you to be able to relate to each other rather than start niggling at each other. And then you can start the next day afresh. Taking the pressure off, I guess, so you don't start the next day with the stresses of the previous day. And then what I actually find is that if you let those stresses build up over time, then it affects your relationship and you can't relate to each other.
Yeah.
It's showing appreciation for the small things as well. It doesn't have, look, raunchiness doesn't have to be weird and wonderful stuff in the bedroom.
Yeah.
It's
Intimacy can start in the very simplest way.
yeah, just doing things for each other, like the little things, showing appreciation. My husband always thanks me for cooking dinner. I cook dinner most nights, and most nights it's good. Some nights I experiment on him and it's kind of like, yeah, let's not do that again. But he still thanks me for it. So
Sometimes
yeah,
my husband said the same when I experiment. Ingrid, it can be very good and it can be, very bad.
yes, yes. Oh, he never says that to me. He just says, like, okay, can we not have that one again? I'm like, okay,
Aw,
that's
good
fine.
choice of words, husband.
So yeah, I find just maintaining that connection and looking
Yeah.
after my own headspace will help me to continue to support that relationship with him, and him doing the same thing. It's just us being both in a good headspace actually helps our relationship tenfold.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us. And if people would like to connect with you and get to know more about, your service, your products, how can they do that?
Yes, so I have a Facebook page that's got my email and number and everything on it. So the Facebook page is WPS Bridal. So WPS BRIDAL. And yeah, can find all my contact information on that page.
Wonderful. I will put the link on the caption when I post this. And people, if you need more tips about relationships, or if you would like to have a free chat with me, you can go to my website, www.kahyangan.com.au, and request a chat there. So that's KAHYANGAN.com.au. And if you like this podcast, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Ingrid Galloway. So thank you so much, Ellen, for coming. Next week, we will have another wonderful podcast guest talking about, all sorts of life things, relationship things. But thank you so much for coming to my podcast today and sharing your wisdom and have fun with me.
Great. Thank you very much for the invite, Ingrid. It has been fun, definitely.
Lovely. Have a great day.
You too.